Welcome, everyone, to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. I'm your host, TJ, and with me here, as always, I'm sure as you can guess, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame in his game because he is always the same.
That's me.
Grumpy, grumpy, grumpy. It's our first time back in quite some time.
Yeah, I'd like to offer an apology to John. I told him I was going to wear the Auburn shirt today because they made the College World Series, but it was in the hamper. So I did not get a chance to wash it today. And I'm like, oh, crap. But I apologize, John. I will wear it for Sunday's show or maybe even Saturdays on the Islanders Never Say Die podcast. I absolutely wear that.
Shame. But we're going live tomorrow during the Tampa Bay Lightning
on Saturday.
Or is it Saturday game?
It's Saturday.
Okay, my mistake. Yeah. So on Saturday, also on this channel, we will be covering the NHL and their Stanley Cup Finals, Game 2 between the Colorado Avalanche and the Tampa Bay Lightning. If you're new to the show, welcome. This is a twice-a-week all sports podcast. We cover anything from NHL, NBA, NFL, MLB, fan fights. We cover literally all things sports on this podcast. It happens twice a week on Thursdays, which is today, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're new to the show, we invite you to stick around a while. We invite you to subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, and follow on Twitter, Grump.
Yes, that's correct.
Well, look at that. Tony Cheese. The return of Tony Cheese says, well, look what the cat dragged in. That's right. Tony Cheese back again. Frank Case and Tortorella's deal with the Flyers looks to be a 4-year deal. I did see that as well.
Okay. What are the chances that he lasts there 4 years?
0.
I mean, yeah, I'll say 2%. Only because you never know. I'm going to say 2. He's 63 years old.
He always has a very short shelf life.
Yeah.
And my God, I put him maybe at 3 years maximum. There's no way he makes 4 years, and there's no way he makes every year of that contract.
No
way.
No.
Well, a lot has happened since our last podcast. I went out of the country, so we didn't have any podcasts for the last little bit, but we're back. And for the foreseeable future, I have no more vacations popping up, no more crazy schedule abnormalities. Oh, actually, I do have one at the end of June, but it's just a Sunday. We're just going to miss the Sunday. That's it. Just one day. Or maybe I'll be back for the Sunday. I'm trapped, or no, we probably won't be there for the Sunday. It's towards the end of June. It will be kind of a little cattywampus on that side.
You realize like next week is the end of June, just to let you know.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe next Sunday. Next Sunday might be the only one I won't be here for.
Okay.
But then we're right back in every Thursday and Sunday. This Sunday we'll definitely be here. No doubt about it, Grumpy. But obviously, when we miss a week of sports, holy crap, there's a lot that goes on. There's a lot that goes on in the sports world, Grump.
Now, TJ, I don't want to tell people what's coming on this show because you run the show. But Now, did you get the little thing I sent you about that Ranger fan upset?
Yes. So today's show, we're going to cover a few things. We're going to talk about the NBA Finals. We're going to talk about, it's Game 6 tonight. You've got the Boston Celtics facing off against the Golden State Warriors in a must-win game for the Boston Celtics to force Game 7 at Chase Arena against the Golden State Warriors. They're playing right now as we're doing the show. We're going to go ahead and cover the Stanley Cup Finals. We're going to go ahead and cover Fake Klay Thompson. Grumpy, I know you probably haven't heard of that. We're going to cover that.
You heard of it? I heard about it. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay, we'll cover Fake Klay Thompson. We're going to cover the MLB happen to have a crossover with Off-White and New Era, where they created a new type of brand and a new type of clothing, new jerseys and new hats, Grumpy. And I think you're going to be a huge fan of it. I'm going to go ahead and show that. We're going to discuss that today, Grumpy. We're going to talk about a little bit of mishaps regarding injuries, right? You know, baseball players sometimes get a little angry. They act a little outrageous, maybe a little injury here or there. We're going to talk about Deshaun Watson when we were away.
The gift that keeps on giving.
The gift that keeps on giving, right? We've always said since the beginning, we are always innocent until proven guilty. We said, hey, you know what I mean? We're going to wait on this type of case. We'll wait until more evidence comes out, etc. 66 women in 17 months. We're going to talk about that, ad nauseum. We're going to talk about Papa John's. Grumpy, there's some Papa John's news that may shock you. We're going to talk about Mekhi Becton Mekhi Becton looks in good shape and ready to go, Grump. So we got a lot to talk about. It is an action-packed podcast today. No doubt about it, Grump.
Okay.
Oh, man. Look at this. Hold on. It's Shirley Tony Cheese says, laugh my ass off. We went to the Flyers. Sorry. I missed most of yesterday's PCast. I left. He says, TJ seems to have gotten a little doughy since we last. Yes. Well, that's what happens. You take 2 weeks off from the gym, man. That's what happens.
Maybe it's the fact that you look just kind of like pasty.
Oh, maybe he meant like that, doughy. Maybe he meant like
no, he meant soft. Like
yeah,
the Pillsbury, Pillsbury Doughboy.
Holy jeez, man, it's 2 weeks off from the gym. It happens. You lose the pump. You lose a little bit of the oomph on top of it. So, you got to be back in the gym. I was working out today. Ooh, first day back in a while. Ooh, buddy, it was tough. Drew L says, I know Barry's firing and new hiring process reminds me of this song. I fell into a burning ring of fire. Went down.
The flames went higher. It burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire.
Referring to Barry.
You know who sang that song?
George Strait?
No, Johnny Cash.
Okay. I tried. But referring to Barry Trotz, head coach of the New York Islanders, looking apparently to be head coach and general manager. That's why he's not accepting any of these positions. He's not only looking to be the head coach, looking to be general manager, and teams are not offering that to him at the moment.
Why would they? He's never been a manager before. He's just been a coach. Would you trust him with an NHL roster? I certainly wouldn't.
From personal experience, after watching him for the last 4 years on a very, very close level, I would not. No Frank K says the NFL looks worse and worse each day that Watson is a suspended clown show. We're going to talk about that for certain.
I disagree with that, Frank. I think they're waiting. They're going to wait until the last possible minute, make sure he comes out, and then pop him with the suspension. He will absolutely get suspended. Absolutely. That's what they always do. They wait and wait and wait and wait and wait till the media or the public uproar, what they perceive it to be, and then they absolutely pound the crap out of the players every single time.
Let's talk a little bit, Grumpy. I want to talk a little bit about the NBA Finals first, right? That game's going on. Game 6 going on tonight. Man, oh man, did you? Obviously, we missed since the last time we've podcasted. We missed game 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I didn't.
How crucial of a loss was that in game 3 for the Boston Celtics?
I'm going to tell you what, Jason Tatum is not ready to be a big-time player, period. End of sentence, end of story. He's not clutch yet. I mean, I think about guys at young ages who stepped up when they had an opportunity, clutch guys. They're all-timers, right? Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar missed Game 7. He came out, played center, and won the game for the Lakers against 76ers in his first year in the league. That's a clutch performer. Larry Bird, clutch performer. Michael Jordan, clutch performer in big minutes. Steph Curry, clutch performer. You want to know who not clutch performers are? LeBron James.
Oh, shut the hell up. LeBron James is clutch. Oh, my God. Dude, don't malign his name.
He passed up shots at the end. I see. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but it's a short list of the all-time greats who I'm like, okay, in crunch time, I want this guy shooting the ball. He's not one of those. For me, LeBron's never been one of those guys. Okay. When they won the championship in Cleveland, who hit the shot? Was it LeBron?
It was Kyrie Irving.
That's right. He passed up. Kyrie Irving, guy not afraid to take that final shot. Jason Tatum. I watched that last game. It's like, holy shit, does anyone ever believe the Celtics are the bigger, more physical team? They refuse to drive the basket. 3, clank, 3, clank, 3, clank. Drive the net. Make somebody foul you. Earn it. They wouldn't do it. They're going to lose. I think they might win tonight, the Celtics, and then they'll lose in Game 7.
Here's the thing. The Boston Celtics were up early tonight. They're up 14. It's still early. It's still, I think, early in the second quarter. They were up 14-2. Right now, they're down 27-22.
They're not
a great start.
Marcus Smart thinks he's great. Now, he's got the mentality to be a really clutch player. He's just not good enough. I mean, Brown, good player, not the go-to guy. That's supposed to be Tatum. He shrinks in the big moment. Just does.
Well, Tatum is not. I think he can be, one of those superstar-esque type players. I don't think he's that yet.
He's really good in the regular season. Really good.
He is. But I mean, who on that team do you say they're a bona fide superstar? I mean, Steph Curry, he's a bona fide superstar.
Okay, Jason Tatum's probably one of the top 10 players in the league without a doubt. He's top 10 for certain. I mean, he's really, really good. But like I said on the last show, if it comes down to crunch time, I don't trust him. I just don't think he has that gene. It's a clutch gene. He doesn't have it. Sorry.
I don't know, dude. I'm not putting him top 10.
I do.
Giannis, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Curry, Jokic. You've got Doncic. I don't know. Joel Embiid. I don't know. If I'm putting him at 10, I'm putting him towards the tail end, if not like maybe the 10 to 20 range.
No, he's top 10 for certain. Okay. He's top 10 for certain.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't know. Like Ja Morant, I'd put maybe above him too. Anthony Davis, I still think is a real special guy.
Oh my God, please. They don't even play. They're injured all the time. You got to be on the court to be considered a top 10 player. How many of these guys are out half the time?
Okay.
You can't show up 1 week a year. Hey, he's top 10 all the time. No, sorry.
Oh man. Well, Anthony Davis when healthy, Anthony Davis is a machine out there.
When was the last time he was healthy? How many years ago? Sorry. Jason Tatum's top 10 player in the league. He is. Look at his numbers. 27 points a game. How many guys are averaging that? Not too many.
That's true. Again, it's a lot more people score in today's league than in the past, but still 27 points a game on average in the regular season is nothing to turn your nose up at. I'm just saying top 10, I think you can argue it. Most people might have him in the top 10. I've got him slightly outside. I
just can't. In this series, Boston carried the first 2 periods. Third period, they wound up getting outscored. Quarters. Right. I'm sorry. Third quarter, they get outscored 10-15 every third quarter. How does that happen every single game? Explain it to me, because I don't get it. I mean, well, if we knew how come it was happening, we'd take care of it. Well, shit. You're doing something different than you were in the first 2 quarters and in the fourth quarter.
My God, it's 32-22 now. Holy shit.
So they're down by 10. They were up by 12. All right, they'll lose tonight. They're not going to
say they're up 12-2 early, and they've scored 10 points since. 10 points to Golden State's 30 points.
Yeah.
Yikes. Sorry. I mean, this is a home game for Boston. Again, we're not watching the game live, but could you imagine at TD Garden what the atmosphere is like right now?
Boos. They're getting booed.
Oh my God.
But you saw it on their faces. They knew they weren't winning. After the last game, they knew they weren't winning. They had the lead in the fourth quarter. They wanted to
I'll go back to that. I'll go back to that game 3. I think game 3 was kind of one of those to where, that was kind of a little bit the dagger in the back. Or I'm sorry, game 4. I mean, I keep saying game 3. I mean game 4. It was they were up in the series 2-1 because they beaten Golden State the first game. They had won game 3. Game 4, they wound up losing at home. And again, they were up at half, and they go out in the third quarter. And I was going to say they're up. I think it was 7 at half, and they just couldn't close the deal. Curry went off, right? He's hitting 3 after 3, but I mean, God Almighty, it's when you need your player to step up at home. Game 4, you're leading the series 2-1. If you win that game, you put a freaking stranglehold on the series, and you let it slip through your hands like that.
They don't.
That's the game they look at and they say, "Shit, that's where we lost the series."
They don't have the clutch player in the big moments. I said it before the series started. I don't think, because Jason Tatum is their guy. And I don't think that he's mentally tough enough to be that guy. Sorry, he's just not. He's soft.
37-22 Golden State.
Okay.
15
well,
points.
We've talked enough about that.
Exactly. I mean, Jordan Poole's going off for them 11 points. A lot of points off the bench. Steph Curry only has 5 points.
I'll tell you what. I will say one thing about the NBA. The salary number for the 12 players on the Golden State Warriors is like $170 million. And they're over the cap, and their penalties is like $172 million in like tariffs or whatever it is. And you know what they say? We don't care. We're just here to win. We don't care. I guess other teams are getting pissed. Well, look, there's so much over the salary cap. Well, but they're playing with what the constraints are. If you want to be cheap, you get what you get.
That you do.
They're trying to win.
The same exact thing if they could afford to pony up.
And most of the guys they have on their team are guys that they drafted.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Klay Thompson. Think about that. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Curry, all guys drafted by them.
Poole
second-round pick, Klay Thompson, second-round pick, Draymond Green.
And Poole also was a draft pick for them. He's going to be due a big raise after the season. And they traded for Anthony Wiggins. Who wanted him? Nobody.
Yeah. He serves a valuable role for them.
It's not like they go out and they,
I've got a whole bunch of players through free agency.
Yeah, they don't do that.
2 superstars through free agency and giving them max contracts.
They draft well and they sign their guys. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with that, but there's a lot of teams in the league, I guess, are unhappy. You know what? Seems like they know what they're doing.
They're unhappy because they win all the time. And I understand that, right? Anytime it's the same thing that happened with the Patriots years ago in the NFL. Same thing that happens when any team is dominant for a long time period. Just kind of grow a little disdain because you get sick and tired of seeing them win. I understand it. I do.
Very true. Very true.
Jurel says, let's be real. Tortorella is Trotz, but like 100 times worse. Yeah, I have no interest in Tortorella.
I'm not going to say 100 times worse. I don't think he's just – here's the thing. I think he and Trotz are extremely similar. Very, very similar.
One's more vocal than the other, though.
Yeah, that's for certain.
Surely it's Tony Cheese. Oh, wow. Changed the name up already there, Tony Cheese. He says, as a New Yorker residing in the Boston area, I'm certainly going to enjoy the Celtics if the Celtics lose.
Well, it looks like you'll be drinking tonight. The champagne will be flowing.
The champagne will be flowing. That's for certain. Yeah. And the Lakers are extremely above the salary cap. And yeah,
they just have the wrong GM.
My God, Russell Westbrook doesn't help. Anthony Davis being injured all the time doesn't help. And LeBron, I mean, he's 30.
They have the wrong GM. LeBron James is not the best GM. Sorry. The shitty GM.
Now,
good player.
Good.
Good player, shitty GM.
Want to go ahead and talk really quickly speaking about the last little bit about Golden State. I want to give you, they have the video of Klay Thompson and how easy, or fake Klay Thompson, and how easy it was for him to enter and again, so just so everybody understands, guy who's labeled on social media as fake Klay Thompson, has a podcast, everything like that, determined that he was going to go ahead and enter the arena as a fake Klay Thompson. He was going to see how far he could get. Now, with this stunt and antic that he pulled, he has now gotten himself a lifetime ban from Chase Center. He did have front row tickets that he had purchased for the game, or like in some additional items he had purchased. That was $10,000 that he will not, at least from what I read, will not be reimbursed for. They will not be able to go ahead and take action and go watch the game with. And he's like, is it worth me getting a lifetime ban and losing the $10,000 with tickets? He said, absolutely. So this is the wild little west that went on there, Grump.
Morning, guys.
We got this. What the fuck do we do, bro?
Does he look like Klay Thompson?
Your security into the stadium.
He doesn't really look like Klay Thompson at all. That's the
doesn't.
thing. Does that guy, maybe from afar, if you're like, oh, I'm 100 foot away, oh, maybe that's Klay Thompson. He doesn't look anything like Klay Thompson.
No.
He's got a fatter face and his cheekbones are wider. I think Klay Thompson's in damn good shape now. Come on. I know he's obviously wearing a hoodie for that reason too, so it kind of conceals a little bit of his face. He does not look very much like Klay Thompson, though.
And he walked in wearing his uniform?
No, he walked in wearing the sweatshirt.
But I think he had shorts on too, like, I'm ready to play, ready to shoot.
Maybe he had shorts on, I'm not sure. But here's the thing too, when these guys go to the arena, they're not usually dressed, I assume, like that. They'll usually come in their game day uniform. Maybe this wasn't on game day. Maybe this was just like a practice or items like that one day in between. But I'll let you continue watching, bro.
Look at this. Look at this. We can just go into the locker room if we wanted to.
Is that him shooting?
Yes.
Oh, he actually can shoot.
I wonder how many times they edited it just to make sure that I assume it wasn't in every single three, so I assume they edited it quite a bit.
You see your ball layup. Let's get out.
Oh, here he is. There's
So we gotta go back.
You gotta
little
go.
Missy Do-Gooder.
Yeah, of course, of course.
What's good, bro?
This is you, bro?
Yeah, what's up, bro?
What's up, man?
How you doing,
What's
bro?
up on Twitter? There you go. What's up, bro?
I think he live streamed this, which didn't help. Anytime you're going to be live streaming that, you're just kind of saying like, "Hey, what?"
He could have live streamed that. I never would have saw it.
I was just looking for the team score.
That got him enough. Look at that demeanor, right? There was didn't do anything bad. Lifetime suspension, lifetime ban from Chase Center. What the hell?
Who cares? Who
Hold on.
cares?
You think it's justified a lifetime ban for that?
Okay, all he's got to do is shave, and he can get in.
Remember, he can't buy the tickets.
Somebody else could buy the tickets, and he goes in. I mean, please stop.
I'm just saying, though. I hate when they give those lifetime bans, and I'm just like, was that really deserving?
You know what? You set up a fake account. You set up a fake account, and you buy them after somebody else's. It's so stupid.
Man,
So dumb. That means nothing. It means nothing. What are they going to have? Some little printout? Don't let this guy in.
Anybody that looks like Klay Thompson, don't let him in.
Ever.
Oh, good gracious, man. It's Shirley Tony. She says, Grump, I'm 5 years sober. How insensitive you. You've triggered me. Hashtag trigger alert. Grumpy.
Sorry.
Jarrell said, dude looks more like Sim Bullard. Who's that?
I don't know who that is.
Shirley Tony She said, I got to give it to the security lady. She knows how to take a I was about to say, everybody seemed like it wasn't
Right.
no malicious.
Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Guy had a little bit of fun.
Shot a few threes, went for a layup, and then he said,
Yes.
"Okay, let's get out of here."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nothing wrong. He wasn't making any trouble.
My goodness. Yes.
Everything's a little bit too serious in the world today.
That's what I was about to say. That's why I was kind of like, yikes. I just don't get it. Want to move to a little bit of the Stanley Cup Finals, Grump. Game 1 took place last night. The Colorado Avalanche won in overtime, right? You would say that Colorado looked dominated. They did not look like they played the best game out there. Vasilevsky, had a weak game in net, but Colorado able to take game 1 out of the clutches of the two-time Stanley Cup defending champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I'm just going to say that Colorado had to win last night. If they would have lost, they might have got swept. I think that they have a chance to win the series, Colorado, but I'm still picking Tampa. I think that at the end of the game, Tampa just picked their game up. Yes, I know they got scored on first minute into overtime. Vasilevsky was not good last night. They were up 3-1 in that 3-0 in that game. And Tampa came all the way back. I think as the series goes on, you're going to see Tampa's physicality is going to wear down Colorado. That's what I think is going to wind up happening.
The other thing that's worth taking into account, I don't expect Vasilevsky to continue to play at the poor level he did last night. He's been as a whole, when you look at these Stanley Cup playoffs, he's been spectacular. He's been unbelievable. And it was uncharacteristic, the poor play that we saw recently from him.
The bigger the longer the series goes, the better he gets.
The better he gets, for certain. I mean, you look at him in elimination games, and he's spectacular. He's one of the best goalies in the history of the game in elimination games. When you just look at from a statistic standpoint and also a result standpoint, the guy doesn't lose in those elimination games.
No. Doesn't get scored on in those games.
Yeah, I mean, how many minutes
2 goals.
games in a row was just shutout after shutout after shutout?
I think in eight or nine the last 8 or 9 game clinching games, he's only given up 2 goals. Period. In 8 or 9 games. Period.
You got to think, oh my God. Here's the thing too. Teams know about that stat as well. It's not like they're, completely oblivious to that. When they go in, it's like, okay, maybe it's not the forefront. That's definitely something that gets spoken about. I promise you that much.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't happen from coaches, but somehow trust me, they'll get reminded of that stat.
And Braden Point came back yesterday. You know, he was going to be a little bit rusty.
Yep.
And I think he showed a little bit of rust, but I just think that Tampa this year is, I think they have enough to get over the hump and win again this year.
Let
We'll
me
see,
ask you, what situation can you see the Colorado Avalanche winning the cup in?
Using their speed. That's what they did early in the game. And Vasilevsky has to be human like he was last night.
Those are the only two ways you think that, hey, this is how they stand a chance?
Yeah, I think Colorado's a really good team. I just don't think they've been tested. I mean, okay, who'd they play in the first round? Was it Minnesota?
Was it? Yeah, no, that was Minnesota against Calgary. Give me a second here.
Okay, whoever they steamrolled in the first round.
Nashville Predators.
Nashville. Okay, the 8th seed. Then they beat St. Louis, who had an injured goalie, was playing their third string goalie. I think Husso was out and Binghamton was out. So they're playing.
Husso played, but Husso didn't look great.
Yeah, he was not good. And then they played Edmonton, who plays no defense. And, a lot of those games were shootouts.
Yeah.
And then, they're playing in this series right here. I just think they know how to play defense. They know what it takes to win a cup. And I don't know if Colorado knows that yet. They'll learn it here. Win or lose, they'll learn what it takes.
Yeah. The biggest things that hurts Colorado, as you mentioned, right? Vasilevsky, for the most part, has been standing on his head. Tampa does have a lot of experience in these exact moments. Tampa's a more physical team, bigger, more physical team than Colorado. In a Stanley Cup Finals, when the physicality gets ratcheted up, small defensemen like Cale Makar don't throw the body quite the same way as guys like Victor Hedman.
They wound up getting beaten up by the end of the series by the big forwards of Tampa, whoever.
And they hitting them. Patrick Maroons, when they're finishing checks, when they're consistently finishing their checks on smaller defensemen or defensemen who haven't. Edmonton is not. Think about the teams they've played, right? Nashville, maybe they're somewhat physical, right? There's no doubt about that.
St. Louis definitely was.
St. Louis was physical, no doubt about that. Edmonton's not necessarily a physical team, but Tampa has played physical hockey over and over and over. They can play the finesse style, but they can also play the physical brand.
Yeah. I think Tampa will be better come the next game. Like I said, if Tampa would have won yesterday, that series was over.
Yeah, I was about to say that game maybe goes 5, a gentleman's sweep.
Yeah, I still think Tampa's going to win, but I mean Colorado could win. Remember, they only got to win 3 more games now. So
it was a home game for Colorado, which is also worth mentioning, right? All Tampa has to do is win 1 on the road and win their games at home, right? And they're the Cup champions. They're going to win the final. But
the dumb penalty by Maroon at the tail end of the third period is what got them beat. Throwing the puck at, trying to chip it out of the zone. He throws it into the stands without hitting the glass.
Let me ask you, were they still in the power play in overtime?
I think it was right after the power play. But
essentially was kind of like one of those, they score, seconds, 30 seconds after the power play, but you're still kind of hemmed in your zone with that, odd formation.
It was within a minute of the overtime period that they scored, and I know that I think they were on the power play for the first 34 seconds of the overtime.
Okay, so it was essentially one of those goals that were kind of deviated away by power play. Gotcha.
Yeah, but in that third period, towards the tail end, they were lucky to hang on, and that's like Tampa knows how to win in those situations. They just do. The Rangers defend better than Colorado did last night. That much I will say.
That's saying something.
Yeah. But the Rangers were really good defensively against Tampa. They really were. It was a good coaching job by Gerard Gallant.
Gallant's done a fantastic job. Fantastic job this season, right? Now, did he win up winning coach of the year? Hasn't been announced yet, but you have to figure he's the favorite to win coach of the year, right?
I have no idea. Don't know.
Okay. I'm going to talk about one more hockey item. We're going to throw our fan fight segment, Grumpy, in here a little early because, right, we're kind of going sports by sport. And speaking about the Tampa Bay Lightning, they just faced off and they beat, right, since the last time we had a podcast, they knocked out the New York Rangers from playoff contention.
Yep. Lucky for you.
What do you mean lucky for me?
As an Islander fan, I can't believe you said you were rooting for the Rangers.
Now, this is what you sent me, as well did many other fans, and thank you for sending this to me. We're going to show this. It's going to look brutal. There's no doubt about that. It's been confirmed that both individuals are okay and in good health, so that's why we will show it. Obviously, if there were some catastrophic lifelong injury, we would not be showing something like this, but everybody has walked away and they're okay in health. But now, what is the approach you usually take, Grumpy, when you're an enemy fan, or when you're a fan of a road team in enemy territory, Grumpy? What is usually the approach you take, at least in the stadium, in the arena? I know there's a certain stance that you always have with that.
Just keep your mouth shut. Don't wear the other team's jersey. Just walk out. You can smile and chuckle. No one will know what you're, deep inside they won't know. But I don't know if this guy was even doing anything. Obviously, this was a pissed off New York Ranger fan, and he took it upon himself to inflict whatever type of justice. I don't even know what was going on. These people weren't even close to one another.
I'll paint the picture. So apparently they had discussions or arguments earlier on walking up to this. The Ranger fan was heavily intoxicated. That's
Shocker.
At least the story from the Tampa Bay fan, right? That him and a few other members of the Rangers crew kind of confronted him and were harassing him. And this is what has resulted from that. And they were heavily intoxicated.
I'm shocked that alcohol was involved in this incident.
Hey, what do we say for fan fights? There has to always be certain elements. Most times, it's shocking when fans of the same team fight each other. Those are the ones that kind of leave me scratching my head. But every single time, like freaking clockwork, there has to be some sort of alcohol involved. I don't care if it's at 11 o'clock before a freaking noon kickoff in the NFL. There will be alcohol involved at that time period in order to force those two NFL fans to fight.
Yeah. So let's roll it. Let's see what happens.
Hey, Grumpy, get him up.
You don't know what's up. Oh no!
My God almighty, Grump.
I mean, let me tell you something. I'm a New Yorker. New Yorkers talk shit. And if you can't take it, you're not a real New Yorker. I'm just going to tell you that guy who threw the punch is a bitch because he couldn't take a little verbal jousting because I guarantee you he was running his mouth talking shit the whole game. No sympathy for him. Now, the Rangers in their defense.
I don't think they were sitting next to each other. I think they were just walking back to their car. And here's the thing, dude, it's like you've never been to a freaking sporting event. Have you never been to an NFL game? And let's say the road team of Dallas Cowboys are coming. Dallas Cowboys are coming to Giants, and they're coming to MetLife Stadium. And the Cowboys they're going, Cowboys! Yeah, they're cheering for their team. And they always, every single road team, every single road fan would cheer for the team. Yeah, they cheer for their team. They'll team up with other Cowboy fans. A few select, they'll go, yeah, go Cowboys.
Okay,
this is.
Okay, once again, this is post-game, and everyone's been drinking. So things happen.
Post-game, they'll do this.
Okay, here's the thing. The Rangers, to their credit, said that this guy is never allowed back into Madison Square Garden again. I don't know how they're going to figure that out. But, I mean, I'm going to guarantee. Now, that guy should absolutely be arrested, though. Absolutely. And if I was the guy who get knocked out, I'm suing his ass for assault.
I was about to say, absolutely. Assault is clear-cut in days it can be.
He won't even be able to afford Ranger tickets by the time I got done with him. Now, because this guy just got cold-cocked.
I was about to say, there was no threat. I don't know, right? He's cheering. He's like, oh, Tampa Bay Lightning. There's no, I mean, again, this wasn't like the elimination game. This wasn't like the game that eliminated the Rangers from the freaking cup. It wasn't like this is the game that eliminated them from the playoffs. This is just the game the Rangers lost.
But this is the typical New York mentality. This guy just got, and everybody just walks on past. Nothing to see here.
Yes. They're just like, okay, we're walking right on by.
Hey, buddy, I'm trying to get past here. How about rolling them to the side over here?
So I got to make it on a freaking train to get home. Get the hell out of the way. I guess you're backing everybody up over here. Unconscious Tampa fan.
Mind your own business. Keep on moving.
That's exactly what's happening too. You're just kind of like, yep, grumpy New Yorkers. Let's see here. Yeah. We're just walking by.
But there's a couple of Ranger fans trying. Look, it looks like they're trying to pile on.
Yo, you fucked them up.
And he bolted as quick as possible. I'm going to tell you what, though. People know who he is.
Well, no. Trust me. His name is already out there, buddy. They know the name of both individuals. I was reading the article. They know the name of both individuals, Grumpy, that were the guy who was punched and the guy who did punch.
The only guy, well, the guy who got punched. I mean, what's going to happen to him? What could you possibly say to do anything to him? He
Okay,
was walking, got knocked out.
The comments are like, I'm not saying he deserved what he got, but you
There
should
you
know
go.
that they're drunk fans at the end of the game, and you shouldn't be cheering when a team beats another team in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I was like,
It doesn't deserve. You don't deserve to get knocked out. First
Yes.
of all,
Mhm.
all right. And this guy, it's not even like he challenged him to a fight. He just turned around and cold cocked him. That's
I love
bullshit.
the
That's
people who
cheating.
say this is a fight. I'm like, no way.
No.
There's no way possible. This
It's an
should
assault.
not be the fan fight segment of the day.
It's
This
an
should be the
assault.
fan slaughter segment of
Can
the
we
day.
roll it back and look at that guy who threw the punch? I just want to get I want everyone to see who he is. Not this guy. It's not even him. I thought maybe right here, this guy here,
Mr. Red.
Mr. Red.
Is he wearing a Nash jersey?
He looks like a bitch. He's
What's
wearing a
up,
number
dude?
10 jersey. Who's number 10
that
for the
Panarin?
Rangers?
Who's that?
I don't know. I don't know. He can't even get afford a jersey. He won't be able to wear tickets anymore. Looks like he's wearing his looks like he's wearing his mom's orthopedic shoes.
It's got to be Panarin.
Now
Yeah, it's gotta be Panarin.
let's roll it. Let's roll it forward. I think we got actually a shot of his face. Oh, look at this. He just turned.
Hold on
This
a second.
guy's just talking. This guy in the middle, he's just talking. What
He's
the
got a
hell is
beer in
this
his
guy?
hand, so obviously he's been drinking as well.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
look at the stance right here.
he's already leaned back.
Look at this. He's walking downhill,
Ugh.
and this guy's getting himself, dude. He is set himself up like he's like a samurai. Like he's a samurai. You know, they go ahead and they get in that position, and they whip that sword around, and they cut bamboo sticks with it. Grumpy. He's getting ready to do that to this Tampa fan's face. His face is already leaning backwards as well.
So
I mean,
roll
like,
it. Just roll it slow so we could see. Because I think we actually get a shot of his face. Here we go.
so this
Nice
one will
and
give me the
slow.
ability. Give me a sec here, huh? Okay.
Oh,
Look how he's throwing this. Look how he's throwing this freaking punch. He's
I mean,
going around with a little.
he's from freaking right field with that. He's way out there.
This guy
with the
just
left.
wasn't. This guy's just walking. He's just enjoying himself over here. Yeah, Tampa's won. They just beat the Rangers. They're gonna keep on advancing. They're winning another cup.
Boom.
My God.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh, he's right there. Boom. He goes down like a ton of bricks.
And dude, honestly, probably the hit on his head. Well, I gotta play it. Sorry, Grumpy. I don't have the ability to put this on the slow mo. His head probably hit the cement too, which was more worse than anything else.
And he really picked up the pace leaving. He double timed it out.
You bet. Like I was hoping he'd be able to get away with. Here's the thing too. In the world of social media, do you really think you're going to be able to get away with something that stupid and dumb?
Yeah. I don't think so.
Ranger fans sometimes.
Low life.
He did
dogs.
double time.
Low life dogs. That's what they are. But on the bright side, the Rangers got eliminated from the playoffs that
I
night.
got to see what happens at the end. At least it looks like more people kind of stopped.
Yeah, it looks like some people tried to help them. Yep. Yeah, they stopped. Hey, let's watch. Not really helping. Oh, yeah,
Here's
that
a
guy.
security guard, baby. He's about to lay down the law.
There's
Old buddy.
Jabinajad with a few LBs saying, hey, yeah, this guy did it. Good for him. Look at this kid. I'm distraught. That's
Okay,
like
hold
Tony
on.
Cheese.
Okay, let me ask you. You said what, Grumpy?
That's like Tony Cheese right there.
Hold on a second. Let's get a picture. Let's get the freeze frame of Tony Cheese. There's
There he
Tony
is.
Cheese right there, Grumpy.
There he is, Tony Cheese in younger days.
And the Rangers apparel. But what do you think how crazy is it though that they were able to catch this in its finality, right? They were able to catch the whole thing on video. Who the hell videos as they're walking down exiting a game?
I
You know what
don't.
mean?
I always got my phone in my pocket. I
I
don't
do
want somebody
too.
trying to steal
If
it.
I'm walking, I'm like, how the hell do I get out of here? Where did I park? What spot do I need to exit in? My God, I'm gonna have a lot of traffic. I'm not even thinking, let me just randomly record this.
Well, the hardest thing for you is like if you have to read like the street signs, you bungle the name and say, nope, that's not the way to go.
Oscar Gula
street's-
Parkway.
That street's on the other side of the city. Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Usually have to have Paige to do that for me.
There you go.
Oh, good gracious, good gracious.
Okay.
So the fan slaughter segment of today's podcast, that's for
That was pretty
certain.
good.
Master Lego Yoda says, are you guys watching the NBA Finals right now? I hope the Warriors can end tonight. No, we're not watching it, but we'll be commentating as the new updates come through. Master Lego Yoda, I feel like you're one of the few polling for the Golden State Warriors tonight.
He hopes the series ends tonight.
Alexander says here, hey guys, hope or how are you? Doing well, Alexander. How about you? And Grumpy, how was Buzz?
It was okay. It wasn't Buzz. It's Lightyear. It has nothing to do with Toy Story at all. It was okay. I mean, yeah, I give it 2.5 stars, whatever. It was two. Here's the thing: when I'm getting bored halfway through, that should tell you something.
At halftime, Celtics down 15.
Okay, they could have shortened that movie up, tightened it up 15, 20 minutes, and I think it would have been better off. There was a lot of things I'm like, hey, how does this happen after this? What? How did this happen? How did this happen?
Yeah. Drew L says here, I think people forget before Tampa started winning cups, they made it to a cup final in 2015. Absolutely. Yep. I mean, like Colorado's got a young team with a good core nucleus, right? That's a team where you think, hey, in the future they're going to be goaltending's the biggest hole for them.
And I also think Cooper's a better coach than Bednar.
Alexander says Tampa has goaltending. Colorado doesn't. The only way for Colorado to win this series is they have to get Vasilevsky early.
Yeah, he gave up 2 weekies right at the beginning yesterday. I'm just like, yeah, okay, no. Ugh, two goals that he absolutely has to stop. Can't do that in a Stanley Cup final.
Alexander says, you got to show Grumpy Igor's flop. Send it to me again, Alexander. Sorry, I lost it in the notifications. But send it to me again. Okay, here's the thing. He's trying to sell anytime he gets hit. He's trying to sell the call. All goalies do that anytime.
Is he getting the calls?
He did, I think.
Okay, he'll get them now, like Barzell used to get. But
how often do goalies get hit?
Not too often.
Only in the playoffs, really. That's when everything gets ratcheted up. But, and in the regular season, they try to avoid that. It's not as high octane.
Yeah, but the whole thing is if you get a reputation for a guy who flops, you don't get those calls anymore.
How can you get a reputation for that if it doesn't happen often? If you flop, let's say 4
because they don't like to be embarrassed. The referees don't like to be embarrassed. Same thing. Matt Barzell did the same thing. We talked about it on our show.
Okay, Matt Barzell got impeded upon, and he would get penalties inflicted on him on a game in game out basis. It's not like that.
He started diving. And he stopped getting the calls.
Okay, though. I'm just saying it's like apples to freaking oranges, Grump. What?
If you get a rep as a goalie who flops in the crease anytime somebody breathes on you, you're not going to get those calls anymore. They'd rather not call the penalty and have it go to video review.
Okay.
That's
I'm just saying it doesn't. Goalies don't get impeded upon or have a chance to flop, but once in a blue moon in the regular season. It's really the playoffs when that type of stuff happens. That's it.
Okay. I'm just going to say you get a rep like that, you're not getting those calls anymore. That's all I'm saying.
Alexander says it was about 6 minutes after the power play expired.
I thought they said they scored like in the first minute.
And Alexander said, no, he won't win Coach of the Year, Gerard Gallant. I hope he does. I mean, he deserves it, I think.
Pretty good job, Coach.
And then Shirley, so she says, I hope this fight is not violent.
It was not violent. It was a one-punch knockout.
It was a one-punch cold cock. It was an assault case.
That's right. It wasn't even a fight. It was
I was about to say, today's fan assault segment. Drew L says, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I wish Colorado didn't switch goal horns like 2 decades ago. The air siren and the boat sound were their horn back in the 90s and the early 2000s. That would have made their overtime epic.
I'll tell you what, I still like Montreal's like end of the period. It's like I like that.
By the way, Montreal made a trade today. Speaking about Montreal, they traded away Shea Weber for Evgeny Dadonov.
I was told he was untradeable with that contract.
So we've been told. But isn't it crazy?
Anyone can get traded. Anyone can get moved. It's, are you creative enough? That's all it is. You have to trade to the right team under the right circumstance. If you don't have the balls to do it, you want to be in the New York Islanders and have guys like Anders Lee on your team forever.
The guy deserves to be arrested and have the key thrown away. I tell you one thing, he does deserve some time.
Absolutely does.
Does deserve some time in the clink.
That's flat out assault. That's flat out assault.
It is. What a film saying you're almost naked, TJ. I'm gonna cover up the. I'm gonna cover. I'm gonna cover it up, kind of guy. Great to see you guys, or should I say, great to see Grumpy. He gets dressed before the show starts.
Oh yes, thank you. I don't know why you got to wear a tank top.
What?
I mean, it throws off the whole. I mean,
I don't know why you never wear a tank top.
no, I don't know why you feel you have to wear a tank top on this show.
At the gym, huh?
So put another shirt on.
I don't want a 30.
Or why don't you wear a shirt at the gym that's not a tank top?
Grump, because those are my gym shirts, man.
Well, how about putting on your podcast shirt? How about that?
You only wear a podcast shirt at the gym. Is he bananas? Is he nuts? Here are the flops. Alexander, thanks for sending those here. We'll show a few of these. Obviously, the game was well out of reach.
Yeah, this one here, I think he stuck his leg out.
I don't know. I call
He
BS.
absolutely stuck his leg out. They
made contact. Pittsburgh made contact.
Oh.
Okay. Crosby made contact with him.
Oh,
He
please.
did.
That's a dive. Absolutely, it's a flop.
Okay, well, he pulled a Crosby on Crosby. What's wrong with that?
God.
He did get hit in the face on that one.
Please. The fact that he lays it like he's
deserves
dead.
that reaction, but he is getting hit in the mask.
Whoa! Throw. Oh, yeah, he's ridiculous. I'm going to tell you what. He's not. He's going to start not getting those calls.
Okay, those
He's so
he's in the playoffs.
No, listen to me. He's so obviously flopping. He's not going to get those calls in the future because he's so. Oh!
I'm going to say this again. If this happens, let's say for 2 weeks,
He's laying there like he was shot. He laid there like the Tampa Bay guy who got knocked out by the Ranger fan.
I'm going to try to make my point one more time. If 82 games in the regular season, he flops 0 times, and let's say in the playoffs, he flops 4 times. You don't get a rep for being a flopper.
So, okay, here's the thing. He absolutely gets the rep of being a playoff flopper, which is even worse.
Do you think they remember who's a playoff flopper?
Yes, absolutely they do. Absolutely they do. These referees, the referees know. It's not like they're from another planet and they just come
that
down.
one, I think he was hit. Come on. This one
here, watch him, look him stick the leg out. He tried doing
the leg out, you crazy old man.
The guy coming across. Again, you're always protecting the Rangers. I don't understand.
That is a flop. That's a little bit of a flop.
Another dive.
That's
he absolutely took a flop. Absolutely. Then he tried to assault poor Crosby. This one here, he just dies. Please.
He got the face. It is a flop.
The guy's going for the puck. That's nothing.
This is definitely a flop.
Watch this.
He throws.
Oh, come on. Give me a break. He's a flop artist.
I think the last 3 were flops.
It's going to hurt him.
The first one was.
It's going to hurt him in the long run. You heard it here first. You heard it here
first. Yeah. It's going to really hurt him in the long run.
I told you what was going to happen with Matt Barzal. I told you. I told you 2 years ago.
Matt Barzal flopped for like freaking 50 games out of an 82-game season. Right. When you do that, it will catch up. Hold on. Stop. When you flop 4 games out of 100, it's not a big deal.
Here's the thing. He's a flopper. He's got the rep as being a flopper. He's a flip-flopping fuck. That's what he is. He's a flopper. And you got to watch. He's not going to get those calls because he's throwing the stick and all that shit. They're going to say, embellishment. Bam! To the box for you, Shesterkin. Then that shit will stop. Then he'll be a real goalie. That's what he'll be instead of some flip-floppy fuck.
I like how you did the little NFL flag throw, Grump.
Bam!
Drew L saying here, Islander fans are classier than Ranger fans because despite our 2 years of losing, we never punched a Tampa fan. Ranger fans are something else.
At least it wasn't caught on videotape.
Jeremy F said here, the fact that they were videotaping suggests that it was building and leading up to a final blow. I was about to say that is definitely a situation. That is definitely a possibility.
I'm surprised more people didn't have out their phones for that.
I mean, honestly, though, there's so much chaos going on as you're walking through trying to exit the arena. So maybe Shirley and Tony, she said, laugh my ass off. I like when you guys fight back. And what a film saying, love the fan fights, but that is nasty. He has to go to jail for that. Absolutely, he does.
Yep, 100% agree.
Drew L said, Chef Curry better get his finals MVP. If not, I'll kill the NBA.
He's played well.
Yeah.
He was terrible. Last game, he was 0 for 9 from 3-point, and they lost by 10.
As I say, Celtics lost by 10. Yeah. First time Steph Curry hadn't hit a 3-point shot in like almost 223 games.
That's his game. He's hitting a long range shot. That's his game.
Yeah. Absolutely. Jeremy F saying, hope you guys are both doing well. Happy Thursday evening, fellas. That punch out was sickening. I hate to see stuff like that too. The only silver lining with that is knowing that everybody came out okay. Because if that he was not good, we would not have shown that. If he was like he's in the hospital and has a fractured skull, we wouldn't be showing that. But no, I absolutely agree. Sickening indeed. Jeremy Ford said, is the value of the 13th overall pick worth more to a potential trade partner ahead of time than they can do with it as they wish? Or is it more valuable at the time of the actual pick if some player is available that another team wants?
I think it's valuable now, like in the next 2-3 weeks. You kind of have an inkling of where somebody's going to fall. Those trades usually happen draft day. Yes. Is when those trades get announced.
The day of the draft or the day right before, the evening before the draft.
Yeah, or usually guys are making trades if a certain guy slides, but the legwork has been already kind of worked out. And if somebody's still there, yes, I'm interested to make a deal, blah, blah, blah. But those trades usually happen day of, just before.
For like players, the trades usually happen before the pick. Definitely.
Yes.
Most times. But like if you're in a situation, sometimes they become more valuable if a certain team thinks, holy crap, a guy like Brad Lambert slipped all the way to 13. We had him in the top 5. We're sitting at pick number 16. Crap, we'll trade up and give an additional pick so we can go ahead and secure that we get Brad Lambert, who we think is a top 5 talent, and we can get him at 13, right? That's when the pick becomes more valuable. But for our situation, if we're trying to add a guy like Fiala or some sort of NHL NHL top 4 defenseman or NHL top 6 winger, that it's got to be, I think, done before time. And Alexander said, did you guys see that we were ranked 18th in the NHL in goal songs? And the Panthers were ranked last in the NHL. No, I didn't see that.
I didn't see it.
I guess it's just like a fans vote on that type of thing. Drew L said, Yankees also swept the series against the Rays.
They're really doing well. Of course, they're not going to play 750 ball the whole year.
What a film saying, come on, Celtics, even if you're not a fan. Everybody loves the Game 7. Grump, haven't you called just about everything that happens in the NHL?
Yep.
Oh, don't make his head too big, Woody. Won't be able to fit out of the room.
I told Wood about the Celtics this year, too.
Alexander said he did stick the leg out and I sent another fan fight. Okay, we might save that fan fight for another time. I might have a chance to look at it beforehand, but we got a few things to cover too. What a film said, yeah, wow, great clip. Shesterkin, total wimp. I can't stand that flopping BS.
Yep.
And the last one, Perry got a penalty on that led to a goal.
It's all, like I said, he's gonna get that rep. And that'll be it. He won't get those goals. Bill Barber was the biggest diver of all. Eventually, they could drag him down there where he was not getting a call. By the end of his career, he didn't get one call. He would, literally dive. People would hold up signs in the stands, 9.6, like for diving competitions. He was a diver. And by the end of his career, the last number of years, he never got one call because that was his rep. And the referee said, screw you. We're not giving you any more calls. It's going to happen with Shesterkin. It did with Barzal. Same thing happened. Next.
We got to fucking stop with this.
Next.
Drive me nuts. We're going to switch gears a little bit to the MLB.
Our friends, the Phillies.
Yes, the Phillies, right? I feel like we shit on the Phillies all the time. The Phillies for poor play, multiple errors all over the place. This one's a little different. Alec Baum came back after, I assume, maybe a strikeout, after a poor at-bat, whatever, a little upset. Sometimes players, they'll do different things when they get upset. Sometimes they'll break baseball bats over their legs, and sometimes they'll tear a quad while doing so. Sometimes they'll throw their bat. They'll be angry. They'll throw a water cooler. They'll start throwing shit in the bench. Well, Alec Baum does what some baseball players do, and they throw the bat in the hole. Boom, I'm upset. I didn't get my freaking hit right here. Well, Grumpy, it happened to have a little bit of an adverse effect on him.
Wise. This is how you get hurt. You see it all the time. You just see things. You see things like this, and you learn.
He cut his neck.
The poor Phillies. Now, here's the thing. Joe Girardi was fired not long after that, maybe a day or two. And actually, they've been on quite a tear since he was let go. I think they've won 10 out of 12 games, something like that. Good for the Phillies, but they were certainly our whipping boys for a number of weeks of, throwing the balls into the stands or, dropping called third strikes, whatever it was. I mean, they were just a comedy of errors. And looks like a new manager's managed to turn them around. They have talent on that team.
For certain.
I mean, just Joe Girardi just wasn't getting through to them. They need a new voice in the room.
I was about to say, I mean, Joe Girardi.
Good manager, really good.
They tuned him out. Simple as that,
Sounds like some other teams we know.
Coaches always have a shelf life.
That's right.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Great coaches sometimes fall. One thing I wonder, let's say the Patriots don't play well next year. Let's say they do not perform. Do we think the Patriots and maybe Bill Belichick's shelf life is maybe run its course?
How
long of a leash does Bill Belichick get? Does he get a forever leash because how many Super Bowls he's won in the past? Or does Robert Kraft ever get to a point where he says, we need to start winning more Super Bowls?
I think Robert Kraft came out this offseason and said he was unhappy with the way the drafts have been going the recent years, though we haven't drafted well. Guys we've signed haven't performed like we expected. That's a direct slam at Bill Belichick. He didn't mention the coaching. He mentioned his player personnel decisions. We need to draft better. Okay, let's see what happens, because if you take away his GM duties, do you think he's going to stay? He's not. He's closing in on 70 years old now. How many years do you think he has left anyway? I think he won't get fired in season this year, but I think if they don't, I don't think they're going to make playoffs this year. I just don't. He'd have to make playoffs next year. Otherwise, he's let go. He's going to be in his 70s. Remember, just think about what's going on in New England. Nobody from the outside, and that's what a lot of older coaches do when they get really old. They only want yes men with them. He's got half his family as assistant coaches. Everybody else who's been with him forever. Matt Patricia's back. Joe Judge is back. He's got Steve Belichick.
His kid.
The other Belichick. I mean, and they don't have anybody else. Anyone with a dissenting voice is let go. They replace them with guys who don't make any money. They're all hangers-on and Bill sycophants. It doesn't play long-term. It just doesn't.
No, it doesn't. You're 100% right, Grump. I want to show you this. Now, I will tell you, there were some cool new baseball uniforms and baseball hats and apparel that was dropped. And, it's by a company called White Off. And it's pretty cool. New Era teamed up with them. And I tell you, Grumpy, I'm kind of liking, what they produced here. And I think that MLB might have a little bit of maybe an alternate jersey or something going on here, Grumpy. So I want you to take a little bit of a look. This is what the designs look like.
Yuck.
Now they have these meteor holes. They call them meteor holes.
What the hell is that?
It's just a freaking shirt. And it looks like they gave their 11 or 12-year-old kid an assignment to go cut some random holes in these shirts, and that's what we're going to throw as our design.
Stupid.
Well,
what kind of idiot would buy a jersey like that? Because you'd have to be a moron.
I'm going to stop showing it for a second. What do you think those jerseys cost?
$10. $5.
Okay. How about the hats? How much do the hats cost?
I have a hat like that. I don't know. $30 for a hat. I don't think were there holes in the hat too.
Yes, holes in the hat.
Jesus, free.
Why don't you look on the little right side, Grumpy? Can you do me a favor and look on the right? The hats are listed at $260. The jersey is $1,030, ladies and gentlemen.
What kind of moron? First of all, what kind of idiot would even propose that as an idea, and who'd be stupid enough to buy it? Particularly,
maybe people for memes want to buy it, but I mean, shit's got way too expensive to be memeing around for $1,000 jersey and a freaking $250 baseball.
I'm gonna tell you what. Before you kind of got me excited with this shirt thing. I'm like, oh, maybe, yeah, because I'd like to buy myself a jersey or something if it looks good. No, that's an embarrassment. It's embarrassment to clothes everywhere. What's with the little quotes on the side? What the hell does that mean?
I don't know, Grumpy. There was no. I don't know what the air quotes mean on that, but look at this. It looks like a freaking Swiss cheese.
It's
It
stupid.
looks like they did the Swiss cheese look.
I'd look at it and I'd say, what the hell? If I saw somebody in the street, what the hell's wrong with your outfit, kid?
It literally looks like they just randomly have made cuts in already perfectly usable freaking apparel and said, "Here you go. This is art, Picasso. Now we're going to go ahead and throw an extra $150 on the value of this." Or
Is anyone calling out this idiocy? Or, oh, hey, it's great.
Everybody pretty much unanimously says this is awful.
Yeah. I hope they lose a shitload of money on it.
I'll be honest with you. I've never heard of Off-White. I don't know what type of products or brands they produce, but this is awful. And I mean, absolutely awful. Whoever designed this, right? Because here's the funny thing. When you think about Off-White, right? They came up, they had a specific team. It wasn't like one person had the job to create this. This is a big deal with them, dealing with MLB and having, a partnership there with MLB as well as a collaboration, with the MLB and New Era, right? It's not like something like, oh, this went through one person. This is one person. They had teams and multiple people looking and creating ideas for this. And their best idea was, yes, let's cut holes in all of the apparel and call it meteor holes. And that's what we're going to do to go ahead and jack the price up. Meteor holes, Grump.
Embarrassing. These morons. How do you get a job? Can I get a job like that? Believe me, I can come up with stupid ideas. I can do that. Stupid. It's ridiculous. It's pathetic.
And maybe this is part of the idea. Maybe we can make such an awful design that people are going to want to come.
Can I just tell you something? We've already spent too much time on this. I feel like I just lost a few minutes of my life I'm never getting back talking about this awful product.
I'll tell you one thing. I tried to pull up their website, and I could tell you it's in a spot to where they're having some sort of issue. I could tell you just based off of the way it looks, they're having too much. I don't think their bandwidth is large enough for all the people that are checking out something called Off-White in the actual like apparel.
I hope they lose their business.
Was that?
I hope they lose their business.
Well, here's the thing. They've gotten a whole bunch of eyes drawn on them because of how miserable this is. And people just like me are like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, here you go, Grumpy.
Next. Because it's so stupid. I don't want to talk about it anymore. That is so dumb. It's honestly, it's wasting my time. I feel like I'm losing brain cells talking about it.
Oh, man. And then the Phillies are like the Amber Heard of comedy.
Ooh.
Drew L. saying,
A comedy of errors.
Grump, I don't know if you heard, but Adoris Chapman is supposed to come back like next week.
It's a Aroldis.
I'm sorry. Aroldis Trashman is supposed to come back in like a week.
I mean, Holmes has been doing really good as the closer. Does he just automatically come in and assume that spot? We're going to find out.
Surely it's Tony Cheese says, nice try, TJ. You're not going to fool us with that one. Tony Cheese, he's Johnny on the spot over there. Is New England considered a Boston team? Is it their home team? I'm confused Canadian.
Yes, they used to be the Boston Patriots, and then they moved. I mean, they were always not in Boston, like in Foxborough. I forget. Sullivan Stadium was very close, but it's like a regional team, New England regional.
Marcus Smart is killing it tonight, grumpy old man. He's got 2 points on today. By the way, the Celtics will lose Game 6. The Golden State Warriors are going to be they're going to win the NBA Finals. They're going to win. They're up 22 points late in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's over.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Yep, and Curry's killing it tonight, says Drew L. What a film said, I'm too old to know what's in, but I hope it's not the hats.
It's not.
Surely it's Tony Cheese says, all right, hear me out here. I have an idea. Let's sell some jerseys with pizza grease stains on them.
You know what? I used to have a lot of those when I worked in a pizzeria. I used to have lots and lots of shirts like that.
With pizza grease stains.
I don't know. And whenever I get grease on a shirt, you know what I do with it? It's like a rag.
Oh, yeah, man.
I use it, to dust things or polish things or just throw in the trash, clean off my feet in the mud. Because
I do that with woolly socks. When my socks get too many holes in them,
oh my gosh.
Use them as
I could sell my old socks as socks that got meteor holes in them. Selling for $150 a pair.
I've been wearing fashionable items way before they were fashionable.
Yeah.
My socks also have meteor holes in the soles. They've got them in the big toes. They have them sometimes on the heel. They sometimes have them on the padding of my foot. All over the place, Grump.
I'm going to tell you what, I think something that would sell is, socks. A lot of them, they get holes in the big toes. You just cut out a hole there, just stick your toe through, and you walk around. The kids would probably love them. Hey, look, I can just paint the big toes on each foot and walk around with socks with flip-flops on or whatever the hell they wear.
Hey, man, the meteor holes all the way. Look at that. Drew L said, by the way, TJ, I got insider information from a fantasy football analyst who had an interview with the Giants beat writer. He said that Saquon Barkley is going to crush it this year.
There you go. TJ hates Saquon Barkley.
Waste. You never draft running backs in a top freaking 5. I'll go over that again. I don't care if it's
not now. Let's wait until preseason. I'm sure you have other items you want to talk about.
Okay, that's fine, Grumpy. That's fine. We'll put it off. But let's talk a little. Let's talk a little NFL, Grumpy. Let's switch gears here a little bit because we're going to cover Deshaun Watson. But a favorite on the show. He's an unsung hero of the New York Jets. I would argue one of the most valuable players on the Jets. I'd say maybe the most valuable player on the Jets. I would say possibly the most valuable player in the NFL, Grumpy. Just hasn't won an MVP just quite yet. Mekhi Becton, Grump. Look at this. He came out with a shirt that read Big Bust on it. And around the shirt, it says fat, lazy, injury-prone, and out of shape. Now, he looks in pretty damn good shape right here.
You want to know how big that shirt is? That is like a 12X. And the fact is, he had all those words, and he still didn't fill out the whole circle. Why don't you put up there when Mekhi Becton was taking that guy down in the McDonald's when he wanted to
I don't have that one still. Jesus Christ, Grumpy.
He's a pig. He's a slob. Look at him. He's sweating just standing.
No, he was working. He was working hard, man.
He wasn't.
Honestly,
that's right.
He looks right now, he's about 350, 360.
He's not.
I'm telling you, that's what he looks like.
Listen to me. He's sweating standing. That is working for him, just standing. And he can't, he's got his hands propped up to hold himself up. He's a slob.
Is it like when you get like an old grandparent where they have struggle walking, so they have to go ahead and grip things in order to walk around? Is that what you're saying? Mekhi Becton's out of shape?
Like a walker? No, I'm saying
walk in order to walk.
I'm saying that he needs the podium to hold him up. That's what I'm saying. And I'm going to guarantee you. Oh,
a lot of praise.
Let's see.
This guy with potential, and last year was different.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like people kind of written you off already?
Yeah, and I don't understand why, but it's all good though. I'm gonna make them eat their words.
Yeah, Grumpy. Me and Mekhi Becton are going to make you eat your freaking words, Grump. Okay. Me and Mekhi Becton have been training all offseason long.
How perfect. Mekhi Becton, there's nothing he doesn't want to eat, including other people's words. He's like, well, Mekhi, can we have him? No, I have to hit the all-you-can-eat buffet.
I got to eat those words. Oh,
they won't even let him in to like a Chinese restaurant has, hey, have the all-you-can-eat buffet on Sundays. They won't even let him in the building.
He'll run him out of business.
I mean, he's not allowed to go into, Golden Corral or any of those places. All you can eat, not you, brother. Out you go. You drop. You hit by himself eliminates their profit margin.
Here's the thing. I think Mekhi Becton looks in good shape. He looks like he's 350, 360. He looks like he's in playing shape right now. He does. I think he's motivated. I think he's going to prove people wrong this year. After seeing this video, I'm all down.
He's a fat pig, a lazy slob. What else? Because those words are perfect. Matter of fact, it's everything that I've said about him, honestly.
Oh, stop, Grumps. Stop. Talking a little more baseball, or I'm sorry, talking a little more
That's NFL. It for the NFL? Just Mekhi Becton and his fat ass?
Talking a little more NFL. That's what I say, Grimby. There is some news. Speaking about food, you know how Papa John's has always been the official pizza or had been official pizza of the NFL?
Well, they were a couple of years ago, and then they got replaced. I don't remember why.
No, they have been. They still have been.
No. Papa John's was a few years ago, and then they weren't anymore.
No, they even till last year were the official pizza sponsor of the NFL.
Okay, can I just tell you something? It says Little Caesars has replaced Pizza Hut as the official NFL
Pizza Hut.
sponsor.
God damn it. That's right. Pizza Hut. I'm sorry. I just keep on thinking Papa John. I think even in the description I wrote Papa John's.
Why don't you continue to tell me I'm wrong when the very thing you put up just debunks everything you said?
Oh, good gracious.
Like I
So-
said, reading is not one of the things that you think are fundamental.
But yes, I'm sorry, Pizza Hut. Jesus, man, I can tell you, I'm thinking about. I'm a Domino's guy, to be honest with you. But Little Caesars out pizzaed the Hut. I did laugh at that. Pizza Hut no longer. Little Caesars is the official pizza sponsor of the NFL. What do you think of that?
Okay,
When's
first
the
of all,
last time you've eaten Little Caesars? I can't remember the last time I've eaten Little Caesars.
nobody eats Little Caesars. They were cheap. That's what happened. They paid as much money as possible. They were like, I mean, here's the thing. I'm not saying Pizza Hut's the best pizza in the market. It's better than Little Caesars.
Let me ask you though. So I mean, like, how could they afford then to become the official pizza sponsor if people didn't like Little Caesars?
They're hoping people will buy them because they're affiliated with the NFL. Mike Ilitch, I think, used to own Little Caesars. He's dead now.
All I remember is a little commercial where it goes, pizza, pizza.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
what
all you got
remember.
to say on that, Grumpy? I thought
You don't remember that the food is good. You just remember pizza.
Well, I've never eaten Little Caesars. Now I want to go eat Little Caesars.
Because they're affiliated with the NFL. Okay.
I want to see what it tastes like.
It's not good.
If it's cheap, maybe. Hey, man.
I'm sure they have them by you. It's a chain. They must have them.
They've got him. They've got him. Drew L said, "Where's the breakfast at?" Talking about Mekhi Becton. That's what he's looking for. And surely it's Tony Chi says, TJ isn't the hero offensive lineman deserve.
TJ isn't the hero offensive linemen deserve. He's the hero they need.
Oh, there it is. Tony Cheese. I fucked up that comment so damn bad. I'm sorry. I'm glad Grumpy saved it. Man, Tony Cheese. That was a good comment too, and I fucked it. My mistake.
Yeah. I think that's a Spider-Man reference or one of the superhero movies, I think.
Oh, man. Tony Cheese, that's a great
Oh, no, it's a Batman reference, I think. It's a Batman reference.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
Drew L says here, I don't know why. I don't know why not make like Grimaldi's the sponsor of pizza at the NFL. At least fans will eat some quality then.
Maybe they should make it DiGiorno. Frozen pizza.
Domino's. I want some freaking Domino's tonight, Grumpy. Maybe I'll get Domino's tomorrow.
Well, you probably won't be able because Mekhi Becton has already eaten them out of stock this evening.
Well, maybe Mekhi Becton's going to switch over. Maybe Mekhi Becton caught wind that it was going to be Little Caesars, so he switched pizzas from Pizza Hut to Little Caesars. And Little Caesars maybe has a healthier pizza, Grump. That's why he's in good shape.
Okay, here's a reference now. People have seen the new Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World movie, will know what I'm talking about. But Mekhi Becton was in that movie. He himself was a horde of locusts that ate out all the grain and food in the whole Midwest in that movie. Spoiler alert. It was Mekhi Becton.
Thanks for adding the spoiler alert at the end after you ruined what happens in the plot.
It's really not a big plot point. It's a thoughtless movie. It's really dumb, honestly. But yes, Mekhi Becton was a horde of locusts in that movie.
I want to go ahead and show this here as well, Grump. So talk about Deshaun Watson, a little bit more serious note. This happened as we were gone. And man, you want to talk about a freaking bombshell. Nothing has been done just quite yet. This is as of June the 7th. According to the New York Times investigation, Deshaun Watson met a minimum of 66 different women for massages over the course of 17 months. The Texans gave him access to hotel rooms for massage appointments and provided him with non-disclosure agreements.
So that's a lot to unpack. First of all, 66 women over 17 months. That's like 4 a month. That's like 4 strange rando women coming down to give you a rub and tug a month. Okay. But the bigger thing is the Texans gave him access to hotel rooms and provided him with non-disclosure agreements. So they had to know what was going on too. No?
I would say they probably did. Or maybe they didn't know exactly what was going on, but they understood. It's one of those where maybe we didn't say anything, we didn't discuss it, but they knew what the hell was going on.
Why didn't he just get a hooker? Or how about this? A girlfriend. Or
Okay.
6.
You seen he had videos with him and he dressed. You know who Mia Khalifa is, Grumpy?
Mia Khalifa, do not know.
Porn star. She was a porn star and then did like a sports podcast. And
She's a porn star who does a sports podcast.
Yeah, she started off as a porn star when
Now
she
she
was
does a
leaving
sports
college, and then she did a sports podcast for a bit.
Okay.
And she's kind of like she's a meme. And
well-rounded.
Was it? Yeah, sure. She's well-rounded. But Deshaun Watson had her over the house and dressed her up like a maid or something like that. It was just kind of like, the more and more I see these type items come out, I'm like, okay, Deshaun Watson's not looking good. Originally, we said with 24 women, hey, there's probably smoke where there's fire, but we're going to remain more, hey, we still are going to wait until more information comes out. Yeah, it does not look good for Deshaun Watson. You said it's like 4 women a month. Grumpy, Deshaun Watson took the freaking saying a different woman a week or the flavor of the week. He took that one to freaking heart. The flavor of the week was something that actually happened with Deshaun Watson. A new masseuse every month, or I'm sorry, every week. You figure with massages, when you're getting somebody who performs them on you, you usually find somebody who does it well and says, oh, great. Johnny or Sally gives me a good massage. I want to continue with them because it's helping me feel more limber. It's helping me perform better. You usually don't say, I'm trying. I don't think he ran through 66 bad massages and says, I'm still looking for the perfect masseuse. That's not how that works.
No. And Marcellus Wiley was on, he's got a show on CBS Sports Network.
Acho.
What's the name of the show?
Him, I don't know. It's him and Emmanuel Acho. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And he was saying that he does not believe any of Deshaun Watson's story. He says he knows when he got massages that they'd have women in there and the teammates would tell him, yeah, she's real friendly. So in other words, they know what they're doing. And here's the thing, a lot of these women, they want to get close to the athletes. They want to give them the rub and tug, or as Wiley would say, everything ends in a holla. And, obviously he feels that's the case with Deshaun Watson. Because let's be honest, if you're going for a professional masseuse, what do I always tell these athletes? Get a guy to do it for you. Unless that's your predilection, then get a girl. But if you're a straight man, get yourself a guy to give you the rub down because they're going to be professional. You're supposed to get it, to, loosen up the muscles, whatever the hell it does. I'm not a professional athlete. I don't even play one on TV, so I don't know. But you want to get a massage down, get everything loosened up and limbered up. You need a professional, not just some girl, some hot looking girl, or, who's got good hands and knows how to manipulate a member. That's not what you should be looking for.
Yikes. All I have to say is freaking yikes for him.
He's going to get suspended. He will get suspended.
He deserves to be suspended too.
Well, you know what? But was there consent? What's the understanding? And that's the one thing that Wiley said also. He says, there's like an understanding that this is what's going to happen. Or, because these are athletes and that's the expectation for going in there. And I don't doubt that in some cases. But this guy's excessive. I mean, he doesn't feel he's done anything wrong, though. He says, I'm innocent, 100% innocent. And then they asked him a question.
Well, hold on. We'll show the question, but I want to show I'll show you the question here first. So this was, they asked him a question about what do you think about the New York Times report? Now, this is the part that blows me away, right? His publicist, his PR guy, his or her PR guy, they knew when that New York Times article was dropping. It's not like they're blindsided by that. These publicists, these media relations, they have connections and they have friends, and that's how they're able to find out information early and ahead of time. They knew an article like this was dropping, so they should have prepared him, and he should have been prepared to say, oh, what they're because he's going to be asked questions, right? The report said 66 different women in 17 months. And when normal people hear that, they go, what the hell is he doing? What the hell is going on here, right? Just based off of the numbers, he's got to be guilty. The public opinion shifts and says anybody that was on the maybe, okay, let's remain, innocent until proven guilty goes, oh, I don't know. I'm kind of starting to lean the other way here. I know I said that, but man, oh man, it looks like things are really not stacking up in Sean Watson's favor. Listen to his freaking response to this. It's mind-numbing.
17-month period. Does that number 66 seem right to you?
The question was, does that number from the New York Times article, does that number 66 seem high to you?
Go back to the beginning and just play it through instead of interrupting. Please.
17-month period. Does that number 66 seem right to you?
I mean, I can answer. I don't think so for what me and my attorneys went through. But at the same time, that's more of a legal question that I can't really get into details about. So you'll probably have to ask my attorneys and things like that to confirm.
17-month period. Does that number 66 seem right to you?
I mean, I can.
Okay.
He starts putting a smile on his face when he's initially asked the question.
First of all, I'm just here to talk about football. That's the answer. Sorry, I'm here to no comment. I'm here to talk about football. Next.
I'm here to talk about.
Don't have any football questions. Next. I mean, that's what his answer should be. And here's the thing: the Cleveland Browns media director should say, "We're not answering any of those questions."
Yep. If you ask those questions, you're not invited back.
Or here's the thing: we're not answering those questions. You ask them, we're going to ask you to leave.
We're going to take your credentials away.
Next question. It's a no-win situation for him. He shouldn't even answer that. Not at all.
Not a great answer by him. I'll tell you that much. And when you hear that, I go, oh my God.
Like, let me think. Oh, 66. No, it wasn't 66. It was 69.
I'll let you listen to the response one more time.
Does that number 66 seem right to you?
I mean, I can answer. I don't think so.
Freaking smile. I'm sorry. That smile where it's like if he's in a locker room full of guys, he'd be cutting up and laughing his ass off. That type of freaking smile right there screams, holy shit. Deshaun, man, that is not a good look. At least in my opinion, that is not a good look. Because I know if that's in a different scenario, that is a completely different response after that point. A completely different response. Because I know where his brain and what he's thinking here. Look at the facial reactions he's got. Come on. I'm the facial expert now, by the way, Grumpy. Look at me.
Okay. We've seen enough.
17-month period.
One more time.
Does that number 66 seem right to you?
I mean, I can answer. I don't think so for what me and my attorneys went through. But at the same time, that's more of a legal question that I can't really get into details about. So you'll probably have to ask my attorneys and things like that to confirm.
And what do you think his attorney's going to say? No comment. He's just so dumb. I'm sorry. It's just dumb. We complimented him on not saying anything, maybe because they kept him chained up behind closed doors. Because the first opportunity he goes and says something dumb. Just say no comment.
I was about to say, he must have been on a strict orders. Do not say a word about anything. Just say, I want to play football. I want to play football. Find different ways to reiterate that because, man, not good.
Yeah. I mean, I think I sent you an article on what the PGA golf tournament is getting rid of members because they signed with some Saudi Arabian group.
I didn't know they're getting rid of members because of that.
They're not allowed to be in certain tournaments. And they had some lady come out and accuse Phil Mickelson, who absolutely took the money to do one of those. I mean, it's 50 whatever years old. I don't blame him. And accused him practically of killing the people in 9/11. I mean, and Phil didn't really know how to answer that. But, my answer, I mean, all right, so he's working with Saudi Arabia. I mean, you realize the American government works with Saudi Arabia. Where do you think we get our oil from? So when you fill up at the tank, are you complicit in 9/11? I mean, it's just a stupid thing. And I felt bad for Phil Mickelson. And
he's a nice guy, too.
There's quite a few golfers. You know what? Here's the thing. You think about how much money they make. If they don't make the cut, and even though they may, be the top 200 golfers in the world, they don't make the cut, they don't get paid. Yep. Where he's going to make it. All these guys who are going over, they're not guys who are all in their prime. They're past their prime, but they're cashing in. Careers are short. I mean, just to try to link joining that particular tour for 10 events or 8 events is like, killing Americans on American soil. I'm sorry, it's disingenuous. And I'd ask, I mean, what about your newspaper? Have you ever spent any money in Saudi Arabia as a newspaper? Do you feel like you're guilty? I mean, I just thought it was just, please. And he tried to answer the question, but it was uncomfortable as hell. Well, I feel bad for these people. I mean, how many years ago was that? That's like over 20 years ago now, isn't it? I mean, it's a long time ago, and I'm not trying to minimize it, but it's like saying, well, gosh, did you do business in Germany? Because, Hitler killed how many people? I mean, come on. He's just a freaking athlete who's trying to get a freaking payday. He's not saying, yeah, let's, I'm behind the Saudi Arabian government. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It's not like he's out there saying, I support them. I do. He's like, okay, I'm not. He's not a guy who's political. He's not a guy who gets political.
He's a golfer.
Exactly. These guys says, I want to be in the back commercials. I want to keep my image as plain, as neutral as possible. I want to get, that's how I'll make my money is through endorsement deals by saying I'm winning on the golf course. And guess what? I found a way where I'm able to make big time money for the next, I played 10 tournaments. I played 10 different events.
And he doesn't even have to win. He doesn't even have to win.
Was it $50 million to show up for 10 different tournaments?
Something like that. I don't know exactly what it was, but I mean, you'd be a numbskull not to take that deal on the back end of your career. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just so foolish. And here's the thing, it's part of the PGA wanting to have a monopoly on the best players in the world. They say, if you want to play in those tournaments, you're not going to be able to play in our tournaments. Well, good luck. Because he is playing the U.S. Open. It's an open tournament. They have no power in that. Now, they can't do the Tour Players Championship, and I guess there's other tournaments they can't go into. But in the long run, he's going to make way more money over there, golfing, in essence, in 10 tournaments, as opposed to anything he can make in the United States.
This has got to be. I'm looking at something from the San Diego Union Tribune. He's going to make it $200 million, not 50. Foolish me, $200 million. And my God, it says watching professional golfers leap for the blood money of a new Saudi golf tour should shock approximately nobody, says Esquire magazine.
Absolutely, it shouldn't. And here's the thing, Johnny Pencilpush, who's writing that article, if Saudi Arabia offered him $100 million to write articles for them, he'd be on the first freaking plane over there. I don't know who the hell he said. He said, yeah, teach me how to ride a camel or whatever the hell they do in Saudi Arabia. I don't even know.
Aligning with Saudi investors, subjecting Mickelson as well to charges. He's callous towards families of 9/11 victims.
Callous.
I'm sorry, callous. Man, if I can read, that'd be nice. But yeah, I'm just looking at this. Yeah, man, oh man, you're right. Oh,
it's ridiculous. Oh, what about because I guess the Khashoggi guy was supposedly killed by Saudis. Nobody really knows. And it's like, don't you feel it? How could you work for them? Well, you know what? He's a journalist. Maybe you should do something about it. I'm a golfer. I don't see him killing any golfers.
Did you hear what Rory McIlroy said about this too? Because they asked him, right? They said, oh, what do you think about Phil Mickelson when he bolted to the new lucrative tour? He says, my dad told me a long time ago, once you make your bed, you lie in it. And they've made their bed. What a freaking sanctimonious prick.
Great. Guess what? When his career's over and he wants to make some money, boop, 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 he'll be trotting right over to the Saudi Arabia. And then, believe me, I'll have the receipts.
Grumpy's going to keep the receipts.
Absolutely. Don't be a hypocrite. You know what you say? All you had to say was this. He did what he felt he had to do. It's up to him. I'm not him. That's all you need to say. $200 million? How old is he? 50-something?
Yeah.
And let's be honest. I know he won a Masters or something last year or something like that. But he's certainly on the downside of his career, without a doubt, in his 50s. Where are you going to get a paycheck like that? What, to just shoot 10 to play 10?
I'm looking at what the purse is. If you win certain events, right? You're looking at some purses. Oh, $17.5 million is the total purse, right? The guy's getting paid. If it's $200 million over 10 different freaking events, 10
just
different
to show up.
What?
Just to show up.
I was about to say, you're getting paid $20 million just to show up. It'd be like you winning 10 freaking PGA Tour events.
You don't get paid that much on the PGA Tour. You do not get paid that much on the PGA Tour.
I'm just looking here. The purse of the country club course there that's going on from June 16th to 19th. The purse is $17.5 million.
Look at how much the U.S. Open pays. Look how much the Masters pay, or the PGA the PGA Championship pays. It's not $17 million. Absolutely not. And that's to win.
I think that's a total purse. So 17. Okay. The U.S. Open paid $12.5 million to the winner.
There you go. So that's not even close. And that's like the biggest tournament in the United States is the U.S. Open. I mean, there you go. He's
almost twice of what the U.S. Open is every time you go out there and golf.
And here's the thing. He doesn't even need to win. He doesn't even need to perform. He just got to go out there and shoot. Would you do that? I would.
Yeah.
I love the righteous indignation. Okay.
Here's the thing. It's foolish to think that, it's so easy too for people to sit here and I think to make comments on it. It doesn't, number one, we're not good enough. We're not fortunate enough to where we're so great at our freaking craft where we're going to be offered $20 million just to show up, let alone $200 million to show up 10 different times, right? It's not even like it's tough to say, oh yeah, you can make a decision so easily like that. You're right. I think that most people that are sitting on their high horse, sitting on this pedestal thinking, oh, I'm holier than thou. I'm so sanctimonious right there. I'm so altruistic. I wouldn't do something like that. If they were put in a situation, I'd be very interested to see what they'd actually do. Because it's not like one of those things where you say, nope, I'm not even returning your call. Sorry, Saudi Prince, don't even return my call. Do you think Newcastle fans are saying, we're not supporting Newcastle Football Club because Saudi oil just bought us? Do you think Man City, who's got Saudi sheiks, do you think they say, we're not supporting Man City because we have somebody who profits off of Saudi oil? We're not supporting that football club anymore. What? No, none of them do that over there. They say, great, our football team's going to win games. Woohoo!
Let's win.
Fantastic. I can't wait. You had people dressing up as Saudi sheiks in Newcastle once that the buyout took place.
They want to win. I mean, I'm sorry. Like I said, and writers are usually the worst. They think that they are sanctimonious and they tell everyone what they should think. Sorry. If you were given the same opportunity, you'd take it.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe some wouldn't, but a lot more of them that are saying they wouldn't certainly would.
Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man. That's all I have to say. Ted DiBiase said it straight. Get those kids out of the pool.
Here's the thing too, really quickly. This is worth noting. And again, now this guy, Dan Lust, I'm trying to remember, he works or he's been heard, a sports attorney, heard on ESPN, CBS, and Fox Sports there. He says, in chance that Watson faces an unprecedented punishment by the league, the union, the NFLPA, will take specific aim at the NFL's handling of Commanders owner Daniel Snyder, Patriots owner Robert Kraft, who had a little bit of the massage parlor issues that offseason, many off seasons ago, it seems like, and Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. Man, oh man, that could get ugly fast is right.
Here's the thing. The players have an agreement with the NFL that the commissioner deals out punishment. They sign that over. He is judge, jury, and executioner. They do not have any power over the owners. And guess what? The league doesn't have any power over the owners. The owners are going to stick together. They just are. They might leak some stuff, but everything's already out there. No one's going to pay any attention to the Players Association. Just not going to. Sorry. It's the way it works. Here's the thing. He put himself in that situation, which honestly was worse than any of those guys did. If you're thinking about
foolish
it.
Too. It wasn't like, that is so dumb. He knows any type of professional athlete, especially the quarterback, a top five, when playing top 5, top 10 player in the NFL, top 5, top 10 quarterback in the NFL when playing, right?
Here's the difference. Robert Kraft, that didn't even go to trial. The case was dropped. Daniel Snyder paid off whatever he did, and this did Jerry Jones. He refuses to pay. If he would have paid them off, this would all be gone. People would just stop digging. But his refusal, it's usually the cover-up that gets you. It's not the initial crime. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to say he's guilty until, innocent, that he's guilty without him having his day in court. But it just doesn't look good for him. It's a bad, bad look for him. Just is.
I don't disagree. In the court of public opinion, maybe there were some people saying when those cases were thrown out, right? Because remember, he had the 24, they were thrown out. When you see this, you go, okay, maybe my opinion's changed a little bit in the public atmosphere. That's for certain.
I'm going to say it again. NFL players, NBA players, NHL players, Major League Baseball players,
any professional sport.
Players, if you need a masseuse, don't get someone from the same sex that you're attracted to. Get somebody else.
Don't go through a million different masseuses either.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious.
Now, here's the thing. Were some of these girls looking to maybe get some favor with an NFL player? I'm sure they were.
Yeah.
But that doesn't justify what he did. I mean, or how about this? How about this, Deshaun Watson? How about putting on a pair of boxer shorts? There's an option.
How about putting clothes on during your massage?
I mean, they can work around a pair of boxer shorts, right?
No, it restricts his motion too much, Grump.
That's what I'm saying. Get yourself an extra, a size up of the boxer shorts.
Or get yourself some of those stretchy pants. Or one of those like the athletic, like the jock straps, where it's like, or not a jock strap, it's like slides, like athletic slides.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Boxer shorts, they're bigger, more room to breathe. There you go.
Drew L says, I think people are clowning Watson now. Let's be real. Isn't the worst suspension getting like at least a full season? I think Cleveland might get the last laugh on all this.
He was already, in essence, suspended for a year last year. He was. There was an agreement made with Houston and with the NFL, don't activate this guy. And he didn't want to play with them anyway. That worked out. He will get suspended this year. I don't know how many games. He will get suspended. And honestly, it's unfair because he was already, in essence, suspended for a year. And remember, no criminal charges are being filed against him. Not a one. So he's not a criminal in the eyes of the law. Did he use poor judgment? Yes. I'm just saying the NFL could have already made their decision on him, but they always wait till the last second, let the whole thing play out in public, and then they pop him. And they will do that again this time. It's what they do.
I think a suspension's in order. I could see it being anywhere from, half the season to a full season. I really could.
Okay.
Let me ask you this though. I want to kind of change topics. What do you think would be, let's say, because I'm trying to get like a gauge of what people think as well. What do you think would be egregiously too long of a suspension? Because sometimes the league overreaches, sometimes they underreach. What would be too little? What would be too long?
I was hearing 6, that he was going to get 6. Okay, but what are you suspending him for? What are you suspending him for? I mean, you didn't commit a crime because you have a lot of masseuses? I mean, is that the reason? What's your explanation for suspending him at this point after he's already missed a full year of his career, in the prime of his career? What is the explanation you're going to give for him being suspended?
They're going to say we looked at the items. Well, here's the thing. They're going to say they looked at the items and determined that there were items that needed to be addressed and or items that need to be held accountable for. And that's as descriptive as they're going to get. They're going to keep vague with it. I think he is going to get a suspension.
But I'm just saying, all these people, the court system said that he's not going to be. I mean, all these women went to the police and they said, nope, we're not pressing going forward this. There's not enough evidence to convict, whatever. They dropped it. So what can the NFL say then? I mean, well,
remember, you don't have to be guilty.
He didn't even get
by the NFL. It's happened before, right? You think about the marijuana with Josh Gordon, essentially got suspended for life because he smoked weed a few times.
That's because there's
after he was on the suspension protocol because he had smoked weed in the past, he showed up hungover because he drank alcohol, which is completely legal, right? And he got a ban for life from the league.
That's
So
part of the CBA, though. That's part of the CBA.
okay, well, that's the thing, right? The CBA says you give all the power to Roger
But
Goodell.
I'm just saying it's not even like these cases even went to court. They didn't even pursue them. I'm just saying he didn't even, as far as nothing happened as far as the law. They didn't even think enough to even try a case. I just find it funny. Like I said, I believe something absolutely went on. If it's him feeling like he's entitled to get these rub and tugs or whatever, I do feel that. But still, it's like he's already lost a year of his career, and he's going to lose more games this year. And is that really fair? I mean, that's a mighty harsh sentence to miss a year plus.
I think a lot of it has to do with people think he's a sleazy bastard now.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of sleazy guys who play in professional sports. He's not the only one.
That's what I think a lot of it has to do with. People see this now and they say, holy shit, you sleazy son of a gun. They think about it. Deshaun Watson's image before all this happened was pristine. A guy
That's
who
right.
was always
Pristine.
class act. Pristine, right? Pristine. A guy who was a class act. But then you go, oh, hold on. Who was that president where he had a pristine reputation and they caught video of him cursing like a sailor? And like it was like, whoa, hold on. What? They do this? Who was that back in the day, Grumpy?
I don't know.
Was it not? Was it Reagan? Was it Nixon? Who was it?
No, no. John Kennedy was like the golden boy, but then it found out he was, sleeping around while he was president, years and years ago.
Yeah. What a film's saying is everything more expensive in the States because it's crazy here in Canada. Little Caesars is very cheap at least, and it's almost dog food.
Yes, everything's more expensive here in the United States.
Well, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Let's just say leadership is not doing the correct things.
What a film is saying here, we used to call them puck bunnies. LOL says
rink rats. That's what they are. They're the girls who hang out and want to perform things for athletes. They are there. Don't delude yourself into thinking it doesn't happen. It does.
And Drew L said, by the way, TJ, I don't know if you read the article from The Athletic I sent you. I haven't yet, but the article is a survey, and I think you and Grump should take a look at it together. We would, let's see here.
Is that the Islanders one?
I'm not sure. Drew L, send it to me again in Twitter. I'm sorry. I will pull it up.
If Drew L, if that's the Islanders, if it's the one on the Islanders, I actually did enter my comments and I did pick something in there.
Oh God. Drew L said Boston just ended the third on a 16-4 run. Boston cut the lead to 10 as well.
Okay. Good for them.
There's 6 minutes left. Boston is tailed down by 9. They're gonna need some late game heroics in order to keep it going. What a film is saying. How about Gruden trying to sue the NFL? That takes some serious balls.
They scapegoated him. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. I mean, they scapegoated him. He was an easy guy. He got the pressure off of Daniel Snyder and other higher ups in the league, and they sacrificed him. That's what happened. That's what they can do. They're powerful. They can do those things. I'm glad he's suing. I hope he wins. Absolutely, I hope he wins.
Alexander says the Mets win, and Nick Leddy is seeking a 4 to 5 year deal worth $5 million AAV.
Yeah, so that should automatically rule him out of coming back to Long Island. He sucks. He's not worth that. If he's worth that much, how much is Scott Mayfield worth next year? 7?
I would say he's probably worth 6.
6.5. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not. I think here's the thing. Some team will probably overpay for him. Just have that feeling.
As long as it's not the New York Islanders, I don't care. He sucks.
Hold on a second. Now, what is this? I don't see a survey. There's not much on this here. There's a Google form. Hey, Drew, I don't think there's much. Oh, man, it's no longer accepting responses. Damn it. So I don't think I can actually see anything on this. I apologize, Drew. I was too late.
Nice job, TJ, being too late.
It just shows blank. Just shows a whole bunch of blank for me. I'm sorry, Drew. If it shows it's still accurate where you can read it, let me know. Drew said, remember the last time you spoke about Lambert before his hiring, Grump? You said you'd want to try to sneak into the Islanders press room to ask Barry why the young guys played better when Lambert was coach.
That's right. I would want to know that. That's a legitimate question. Why does it seem like the younger players seem to perform better when Lane Lambert was behind the bench and you weren't? And let's see him slime his way out of that one. Do you feel it's because they were given a legitimate chance to play? Do you think you intimidate them?
Alexander said, so I'm so glad we didn't pull the trigger on Watson. He also says here, if Calvin Ridley got suspended for an entire year, Watson deserves worse. I'll be honest with you. Calvin Ridley didn't deserve any freaking suspension, maybe 3 games, if that. He bet on a freaking team. He bet on his team to win when he wasn't even freaking playing.
Here's the thing. That is specifically in the CBA. You are not allowed to gamble. Now, that being said, the NFL is in bed with DraftKings and Las Vegas and the gambling organizations. So it makes them absolutely hypocritical, without a doubt.
That's my point.
But it is in their agreement that they cannot bet on games. And I understand the reason why you don't want people to think, oh, he could throw a game. And by looking at it this way, okay, if he's not, the same thing with Pete Rose, if he's not betting on games, that means he thinks his team is going to win or he's going to lose. Where if he's betting on his team to win, he feels they're going to win. That's the logic that they use. But the NFL is absolutely hypocritical.
I want to address that really quickly. Back in the old days, yes, for certain I could see that. DraftKings, when you make bets, it's not public information. It's not like if Grumpy Old Man and I make a bet, it's not like I could see every single bet that was placed by every single person. It's not like I could go to Calvin Ridley's profile and say, oh, let me check out all the recent bets that Calvin Ridley has made. Oh, is he betting on his team to win? Oh, he's not betting on his team to beat the Patriots this year or today. You know what? I better go ahead and bet the Patriots to win. It's not like you can have access to that information. That made sense, sure, years ago when you had to go to a sports bookie and the bookie had connections and they would go ahead and, get hey, the man with the inside hand would go ahead and whisper that around to the loyal bettors, etc. It's not like that on DraftKings. So there's no way you can have the knowledge of whether Calvin Ridley is betting on his team or not. Here's the thing. If you're betting on your team to win and you do it in a way where nobody else can have access to who you're betting on, who gives a shit? As long as you're not betting on your team to lose, that's all that matters. If you're betting on your team to lose, I have a problem. If you're betting on your team to win, have freaking fun. Have at it. Good. You believe your team's going to win. Good. That's what I think you should believe. He's put money behind it. He thinks his team's going to win. He's put money behind it.
As professional gamblers look at it, okay, he's betting on his team to win. When he's not betting, he's betting on his team to lose.
Okay. Did you not just listen to what he said?
I'm just telling you.
Gamblers do not have.
You don't get it. You don't understand.
His team to win.
You don't understand it. In the mind of professional gamblers, if you're betting on a team to win, you think they're going to win. If you don't bet at all, you're thinking you're going to lose. That's all. That's the way they view it.
They do not have access to know if he's made a bet.
Well, he came out and placed the bet himself, which was dumb.
Stop. DraftKings does not share your bets and your information with everybody in the world. So there's no way for professional gamblers to know if Calvin Ridley placed a bet, who Calvin Ridley bet on. They don't have a knowledge to even bet. They don't know that. So that doesn't matter.
Everyone knows he placed the bet.
No. The NFL did because they went ahead and they do audits like that. But guess what?
Well, there you go.
Did not know.
They're held to higher standards. They're not allowed to bet. They're held to higher standards. It's part of the CBA. You're not allowed to gamble
down on that freaking point. Why don't you?
Once I gamble on the sport,
water, double down a little bit, okay?
Not allowed to gamble on the sport, period. It's in every single sport. You're not allowed to gamble on it. Every single sport has.
Alexander said the guy clearly has a problem talking about Deshaun Watson. And it's sexual harassment, Grumpy.
Yeah, but it wasn't even. It's not even going to.
Here's the thing: were they consensual? Were ladies looking to do that, or was it expected? Or where ladies didn't want to do it and were forced to? That's, I think, the real question. If ladies were forced to, and if that's what they say, right? If I'm forced to do it and I didn't want to, he said, "Hey, I had to go ahead and do this, and I did it." It's different. But if all these people were willing, where it's like, I really wonder what Houston's involvement. This is the entire. When I read that, I wonder.
That was the
biggest bombshell for me was what's Houston's involvement. Houston knows about what Houston should face repercussions. In my opinion, they should face repercussions as well.
Why would you give? All right, let's say the renting or giving him the room to have a rub down is one thing. But to provide him with non-disclosure agreements, or maybe they just maybe that's just part of it. Hey, You give me a massage as a non-disclosure. Maybe I got a mole on my ass. I don't want you leaking or taking pictures. Maybe that's why they do it. I mean, I'm sure there's a way they can wiggle out of it where they don't want people. Maybe they make everyone sign non-disclosure agreements to do certain things. I mean, I don't know.
Odd because I don't work in that field. I'm not privy to that. But as a normal person, as a lay person, that looks odd to me. I will say this much as well. If you're getting massages, why are you having to go to a hotel? Right? If you're like, oh, I have my masseuse, they might come to your house. This guy's a multi-freaking millionaire. You usually hire the masseuse to come to your house to get the shit done. Or you go to a massage parlor. It's not like, oh, we're renting you a room. We're renting you a hotel room. When people go to massage parlor, look, when Tom Brady and all those other people, right? They have those massages. They have those deep tissue items. It's not like, oh, we go to a hotel room. No. They go to a specific area where it's like, oh, hey, this guy's coming. He'll be at this address, blah, blah, blah. This is where we meet him. It's not like, oh, come to hotel room. Come up to room 212 in order to meet me to give me a massage. That screams issues all over it. And to me, it screams that Houston probably has some sort of knowledge, or at least they may not have directly known, but they freaking knew what was going on.
Unless, once again, there are issues where certain masseuses try to take advantage of the athletes, so they have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. I don't know. I'm just saying, I get that's not going to wind up. At the end of the day, they'll come up with some reason why they do that. That will be plausible enough for them to have deniability.
Alexander says here, Grump, he made sexual advances and some women feel uncomfortable. He also ejaculated all over some women.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know exactly what he did. I looked into the case. I know that would that surprise me? It would not.
Shot a load. Oh my God. Come on.
But again, it's like
easy.
When the NFL and professional athletes are not me and you. That's the whole thing. Sometimes they have an expectation. Like I said, Marcellus Wiley said, we knew there were certain female masseuses that if we wanted to get it on with them, absolutely, they're good to go. He said that. He said that was just the expectation with certain ones. First of all, what the team should have done, no female masseuses in the locker room, or none of them. You're going to have guys get massaged by men or whatever. Like I said, you're homosexual, then you have a woman do it. Nothing where you could possibly physically attract it, because you're supposed to be getting it to, get your body in shape to play the sport. That's what it's supposed to be there for. You don't see Tom Brady having another supermodel give him a massage. He's got Alex Guerrero rubbing him down.
Well, yeah. Well, he'll fly the masseuse. It's like I use one specific guy, and now a whole bunch of other players in the league do, and we fly him out to a location. We pay for his airfare. We pay, you know what I mean? It's like $10,000, $15,000 a massage.
Not everybody's making Tom Brady money though.
Deshaun Watson's making Tom Brady money.
No, he really wasn't. Not early. I don't know. I think his new contract just kicked in this year. He was still on his rookie deal.
No, he had all these, dude. Nike, he had all these he was making more through endorsements than he was through his contract.
Maybe
Tom Brady didn't do a lot of endorsements earlier on in his career. Not at all, dude.
I'm just saying, Brady wasn't doing that early in his career either. It depends on how much money you make. That's all I'm saying. Hello? Your wife over the TV?
I'm here, Grumpy. I'm looking up. Okay, Deshaun. Man, I'm telling you, Deshaun Watson made a ton of money. Okay, Deshaun Watson originally was paid there. He was paid $29.35 million from Nike just alone. He had plenty of endorsement deals. He was making plenty of money. He can afford $10,000 or $15,000 to fly a masseuse out there if they're really that special.
But he couldn't find the one that he liked the best. Obviously, he was looking for that special lady. Again,
here Alexander saying Watson is a sexual predator.
Maybe. Well, maybe
it doesn't look good for him, right? I think public appeal now is probably Deshaun Watson had done something bad. When you just look at the raw numbers, even if they can't pin him on something in a court of law, they're saying probably did something.
They didn't even try the case. They said it's not even like they tried it and he was proved innocent. They didn't even try the case.
I know. We've gone over that.
Okay, well, it's different.
I just saying, in the court of public opinion, people that may have said I was behind Deshaun Watson now are probably going, probably not.
Well, I don't know.
What a film saying here. The NFL is so powerful. They seem to dance around the head injury problem pretty well. That's right. And Marion Barber was a warrior for the Cowboys. Not sure what killed him, but I think brain damage is a problem.
Yeah, here's the thing. You know what they should do? Take the helmets off. Take the helmets off. Because what do players do? I've said this for years. You take the helmet off, you're not going to lead with your head to make a tackle anymore. You look at in the olden days, in the 40s and the 50s, guys weren't leading with their helmets. They were form tackling. They were wrapping and tackling. Now everybody uses their head and their body as a battering ram. Everything's a block tackle. Take the helmets off. You're not going to have anywhere near as many concussions. And people say, oh, my God, look at that. Concussions are way down. Yeah, because people aren't using their heads as battering rams.
Alexander said that too, saying Deshaun Watson looking more and more like R. Kelly every day.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. And I know that. I think Drew sent us something saying the Warriors are literally aren't doing anything special out there defensively. Boston just has a whole bunch of crayon eaters that throw the ball away for no reason over and over again. Insanely disappointing.
True.
We'll take yes. Jason Tatum tonight. Underwhelming performance. 13 points.
I'm not surprised.
Yep. Not good at all. I do think that race played a factor for Calvin Ridley's situation. If it was a right no, who was the white player that bet on the game and was suspended for a years ago too? Can't remember his name.
Gosh, Cole Horning, Alex Karras.
Yeah,
they take this. It's zero tolerance on the gambling. Now,
I just think it's stupid. I just think it's dumb.
I don't think it's dumb. I think it's incredibly hypocritical of the NFL because they're in bed with Las Vegas and DraftKings. That's, to me, that's totally hypocritical. You're saying players can't bet or can't gamble. We don't approve of that. And you're getting revenues from them. Sorry, that's hypocritical. But I understand why they do it. They don't want the impression that players could possibly throw games. Period. They're not risking that. The integrity of the sport goes out the window if people think that games are being bet on. Just does.
Drew said, I think the Celtics can win a championship in the future, but it looks like it's Golden State's time to win one more.
Yeah, I'll go with that. They know how to win. Boston does it. Period.
John M. saying, good evening, guys. Joining late, getting off of work, joining late. What's up, John? How are you?
And John, just to let you know, the Auburn shirt is in the hamper, and I did not do the wash today, but I will have it for Sunday.
Drew L. says here, weird question. Why didn't Florida take a chance on Bruce Cassidy if he was fired?
I don't think he's the right coach for that job, for that spot.
I wonder if Joe Quenneville will get hired. Right, we've seen a lot of coaches going off the board. We're seeing a lot of question. Right, I'm not a big Tortorella fan. There's a lot of coaches that have been hired where I'm like, that's questionable. And no, I you wonder if Quenneville, right? Quenneville probably won't be hired this offseason. So that's the way it looks.
He'll be back.
Grumpy, I investigate these situations for U.S. hockey. It is a preponderance of evidence, not proof evidence.
Okay, I don't think they have any evidence in those cases. It's he said, she said. Now, do I think that he did something? Yeah. But it's still he said, she said. And I'm going to guarantee you some of those women went in there because they were looking to get something out of it. Again, go with the, oh my gosh, Commando.
No, it's Predator.
Oh, Predator, I'm sorry.
Here it is. The Predator actually sent it to us. Yeah. Oh, man. It kind of looked a little bit like Commando, too. But, yes.
Man, Arnold was looking small back then.
I was about to say, Deshaun Watson looked ripped back in that photo, Grumpy. That's for certain.
Yeah.
But, Grump, man, we're here at the end of the show. What do you want to say before we wrap things up today?
I just want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens, and even those who don't, from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man.
Well, thank you, Grumpy, for being a part of the show as always. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It was nice to be back. Our first TJ and the Grumpy Old Man show in quite some time. It's good to be back. That's for certain. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be live again this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you're new to the show, welcome. We invite you to subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, and follow on Twitter. And if you're If you're here, you enjoyed the content, make sure you leave a little thumbs up. That also helps the algorithm, lets us know that you like the content and that you want to see more also. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Thank you so much. And thank you, Grumpy.
My pleasure.